and welcome to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I would like to welcome you each into our kitchen on this chilly early evening where, I am canning up some venison. Yes, I was blessed by Lyle with some venison, so I am busy canning it up. So I have done all the venison except for one little piece. I thought I had saved a bigger piece, but when I get busy, I kind of get to rolling, and I'm going to show you how to clean venison up. I'll talk more about it as I show you. So now all my big bowl of venison is in the fridge cooling, staying cool. Now I raw cold pack my venison. So it's going to be fun for some of y'all. Okay, this is the last little piece, and I can't believe I had already cleaned up the bigger pieces. Now this is venison. Now, I take off all this silver skin, any slime. Yes, it does have a coating of slime on it, and any fat, because when I can venison, I am picky about it. And you want a very sharp, good knife. I done cleaned off my cutting board because, it was a hot mess. And I just work it under there. That you do not want on your meat. At least I don't. I had some neck. I had a big piece of neck to clean up and a hind leg quarter. So I've got a pretty good little size bowl of cubed meat. And I am hoping to get at least 6 pints put away. Because when done right, a pint jar, come on now, trying to get a hold of it, it's a different story. A pint jar should hold a pound of meat, and that is plenty in one jar for me and Junior. And of course, I've been cutting tendons out because they can get really chewy. Now, another trick, if you wanted to, you could use a paper towel once you get it started trimmed and just pull it off. And you must have a sharp knife to do this. I know the venison might look dull to those who are used to seeing venison. I soak mine in salt water to draw out the blood. And see, the other side I've fairly cleaned up. And no, I do not like none of the venison fat. It gives it an off taste. You want all your slimy skin off. You want your silver. There's a silver skin layer. You want that off as well. And I just randomly cut sizes. Usually nothing bigger than an inch. There might be smaller pieces, there might be bigger pieces, but they're usually around an inch. Alright, I'm going to get everything cleaned up, get my jars brought over, get the bowl of venison out of the freezer, and I will bring y'all right back, and we're going to get to canning up some venison. See you here in a bit. Alright, everything has been cleaned and sanitized from my funnel to my jars to my glass bowl that has the vinegar in it. Now, this is cold pack. Your jars need to be room temperature, not hot at all. Now, I've told many of people many times over the years, just because something is ball does not mean don't check your lids. Look at that. Completely foobarred. If I would have used that lid, my jar would have failed. My canning would have failed on that jar. Here's another one where the rubber seal is not all the way around it. And yes, they are ball canning jars. Yes, they are brand new jars with brand new lids. And I also forgot that I'm going to have to replace this band because the band is messed up. If you see that dent on the inside, that can cause a seal to fail and the jar to leak, or as they call it, siphoning. So I forgot, I got to replace that one. I already replaced these two lids. This is why you have spares. And just because it says ball, do not just expect them to be perfect. Alright, my first jar, my funnel. I'm going to add, I seasoned mine just a little bit. I'll put about a tablespoon in the bottom of my jar, and these are dehydrated minced onions. Now, I am raw packing. This meat has not been cooked. This, the handle, my hands, the spoon head is all sanitized. I will not be adding any liquid to it. The only liquid that's going to be in it is what comes out of the venison. And you want to make sure you pack that good with no air pockets. Make sure you don't see any air spots. And of course, when this comes out of the canner, the pressure canner, you have to use a pressure canner. This meat will be fully cooked, and of course it's going to shrink down, and it's going to have its own juices. I might get more than 6. I'm hoping to. And you're going to want a 1-inch headspace, which 1 inch is right there at that first band. Okay. I'm going to go wash my hand. I'll be right back. Okay, I took a couple of pieces of the meat out because now it's perfectly where it's supposed to be. And for a pint jar, I'm using a half a teaspoon of salt. And I'm putting it on top because it will cook down. I want to get some vinegar You don't want it just sopping wet, so wring it out a little bit. And use pure white distilled vinegar or apple cider vinegar and run across that lid, that lip. I'm double checking now because I'm leery. Put your lid on. Put your band on just finger tight. Now have your pressure canner ready, but cold. Your pressure canner needs to be cold because this is raw packed. The meat's cold, the jars are cool, and we're just 1 tablespoon of minced dehydrated onion. You want to add garlic, you can. I'm going to wait. And believe me, the meat, the venison will make its own stock. Now, if you want to add stock to it, you can. I would use something light, like maybe a vegetable stock or a chicken. Or if you're like me and blessed to have venison bone stock, use that. And of course, I am a thorough canner. I have been canning for too long to worry about what a bunch of people who sit behind a desk who's probably never canned a day in their life tell me how to do things. As long as I practice safety and I know the basic rules for canning, everything's going to be just fine. And with winter coming on, doing the venison like this, I don't have to worry about, a freezer going down or power going out. And this will be ready to eat. All you do is open the jar, heat it up on a wood fire or a wood stove, and you got meat. You got dinner. You're not going to go hungry. Now, if you wanted to, you could add black pepper in here, but I'm going to wait because I know when I use it in a recipe, I'm already going to be using garlic and black pepper. You don't have to use salt, but I like to make sure because it's just a preservative. But use the right salt. Do not use any salt that has iodine in it. That is a no. And each time you use your vinegar soaked rag, change what area you wipe with. Put your lid on. Put your band just finger tight and keep on filling those jars. I'll bring you back as soon as I get done. Alright, I ended up with 8 beautiful pint jars of venison. Now I'm going to go load the pressure canner I wish I had, let's see, 10 more jars. That way I'd have a full pressure canner. But you do what you can, and I want to get these processed. I'll bring y'all right back. Alright, I have my 9 jars in there. One jar is full of water, so it'll be a full bottom. And I've put my separator plate on so the jars won't rattle all around while it's pressure canning. And then the wonderful thing about an all-American, there's no rubber seals to worry about going bad. You do have to oil around your rim. And that makes sure that your lid will come off when the canning process is over. And I'd much rather use the olive oil than I would have to worry about a rubber ring. Alright, I'll be back. I gotta go get my lid. Alright, we want to make sure everything lines up. Uh-oh, hold on. Come on, baby girl. There we go. You want that arrow to match up with the dot and for everything to be like it's supposed to. You gently tighten down opposite sides, 2 at a time. Just snug, and then you come back and tighten them down. I'm gonna crank the heat on, and I'll bring y'all back here in a little bit. Okay, finally able to see it on the video. Alright, I have a steady stream of steam. I'm gonna let it vent for 10 minutes, and I'll bring y'all back. Okay, it has vented for 10 minutes. Now I'm going to try to see and put the weight on. And for where I'm at, I need 10 pounds of pressure, which is usually ends up being 11. So I will bring you back once it comes up to pressure and I get it stabilized. And I'll see you here in a bit. Okay, it has come up to 11 pounds of pressure. And since I'm doing pints will be 75 minutes. If you do quart jars, they will be 90. Alright, see you back when it's done. So wanted to mention, if the pressure drops below 11 pounds, especially if that's your pressure rate, you will have to start timing it over. Know what your pressure is supposed to be. And I have also, while it was venting, I cut the temp down to the exact reading where I know it'll stay at a straight 11 pounds of pressure. Alright, I'll see you back here in 75 minutes. Okay, it has processed for the 75 minutes. I'm just going to cut the heat off and definitely cut off this streaming timer. And what I'm going to do is let it completely drop to 0 and depressurize. Once that's done, which is going to take a while, I will bring y'all back. Okay, it is completely depressurized down to 0. Now don't worry, it might make a small noise. This time just a little bitty hiss. Alright, I'm going to get everything out of here, and then I'm going to bring y'all right back. Look at that. 8 beautiful jars of fully cooked, ha ha ha, song of my heart there, hearing lids seal. Fully cooked venison, and you can see they are hot. Simple, easy, homemade. Look at that bubbling. Perfect space. Look at that bubble. That venison is fully cooked. I don't use vinegar in my pressure canner anymore, and that will wash off in water. That's what happens when you have hard water. No siphoning, y'all. It has not siphoned at all, so I am happy. Perfect canning job. All right, I'll bring y'all back. Look at that. Just a sight that's music to my heart. And the popping of the lid sealing makes me happy to hear. Simple, easy, homemade, home canned venison. 8 pints. That means 8 good, healthy dinners for me and Junior. I can open up a jar of these, heat it up, make gravy with it, and have it over biscuits or over creamed potatoes. If I wanted to do venison with open a jar, put it in a pan, heat it up, make gravy with it. Sound of my heart. Love to hear the ping. It means they're closing, they're sealing. I can take, like I said, make a gravy with it, put it over, mix it with egg noodles, do it over rice, creamed potatoes. I could make soup with it. I could make stew with it. Endless possibilities, y'all. And I know exactly what went into these jars. Healthy and homemade from scratch. I hope this video encourages you to also can venison. It's not hard. You do the same thing for chicken. Love that sound. Do the same thing for chicken. Do the same thing for beef, for pork. Absolutely delicious. And each jar holds about a pound, right there at a pound of meat. Everyone, I look forward to seeing you in my next video. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comment section below. Also, one thing to mention, these are extremely hot. Once you get them out of the canner, put them where they're supposed to go, they need to sit there for 24 hours to not only cool down, but to make sure that they are fully sealed. If they do not fully seal, or if they do not seal, put them in the refrigerator and use them within a couple of days. They should seal without any problem. Most of the time, if they don't seal, it's because you didn't clean your rim good enough, or you didn't check those lids. Please, I don't care if they are brand new. Those that were messed up were brand new. Just always keep your eyes open. Pay attention to everything around you. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Continue to stock your pantry with food that will nourish and sustain you. Medicinals that will heal you. Protection of all kinds, as well as the bare essentials to survive on. Y'all take care, stay safe and sound, and especially warm in these cold temps. Pray for those in South Carolina and Tennessee who are still struggling, that our government has abandon them. Continue to keep them in your prayers. Everyone, may you each be blessed. Hoot, hoot. Love y'all. See you soon.